Hello, this is the very start of a creative writing comic jam. I've written the story for this first page, but each subsequent page will be written by one of you. Each video I'll ask you to write the next section of the story in the comments section, and I'll select my favorite and draw a page that illustrates that piece of writing. Try not to go over 50 words, and the reason for that is that when this is completed, I'll make it into an illustrated audiobook, and it's better if one page doesn't sit on the screen for a long time while I read the story. For this first panel, I've drawn a lot of figures, and I did this because it's the establishment shot and it needs to set the scene. Fernando is on the main beach at Pleasure Island. He's surrounded by tourists. I'd really prefer to draw pages that don't have this many people in it, so if you can come up with something that's really funny or great for some other reason, and there's just 2 or 3 panels and just a couple of characters, that's perfect. If your suggestion is amazing but it's going to take me a long time to draw, I might still choose it, but I might also go with something that is simpler. The art style for this is going to be quite simple. I want this to be more about the story with visual aids. I want to find a nice story and not get bogged down in the art, which is what happened last time when I started one of these. I chose an art style that was way too complex. I've done 4 of these comic collaborations before. The first 2 were with traditional media and they're both finished and you can watch them on YouTube. The first one is called Fernando and the Orb of Gaia, and the second is called Fernando and the South American Swap Meet. The third collaboration was more of a classic comic with speech bubbles. I sketched the whole story but I didn't finish the art. It's called Fernando and the Disc of Chaos, and I am animating that at the moment. In fact, I just finished the second episode of 3 today, but for now only my patrons can see it and the first episode. I'm gonna wait until I've almost finished the third and final episode before I think about releasing the first 2. This is mostly to motivate myself to keep working on it, because as some of you might know, I have a history with not finishing series. Anyway, the 4th comic collab was the one I mentioned earlier. I got 14 or 15 pages in, but each page was taking me like 3 or 4 hours and I just couldn't spare the time to keep at it. So that's why I want to keep this one simple. So the story begins this way. Fernando gazed upon the glistening tourists frolicking on the white sands of Pleasure Island's main beach. Their carefree joy grated against the turmoil that surged like a swollen storm inside of him. I wrote another potential first panel which I'll read now. Fernando confidently strode into the glamorous bar, his eyes scanning the young, well-dressed patrons for his mark. The bulge of the pistol strapped to his chest was a foreign sensation, as was the earpiece that allowed Gooseman to speak to him. I chose the beach one mostly because it's set on Pleasure Island and I want to do something in that setting. So please write what you think should happen next, and just remember, try to keep it to 50 words or under. Also, feel free to leave a question for me. I'll try to answer it either in the comment section or in the next video. Thank you, bye.